All the big names are amongst them, including Chris McCormack and Miles Stewart, but it's a welcomed return to the ITU World Cup Tour for Brad Bevan. 4 times a World Cup champion, 3 times the runner-up in the World Championships, and he rejoins us, and it'll be interesting to see whether Bevan is race fit, and we'll get immediately into this competition. Keep your eyes out or peeled for the colour caps. The fluo green is Chris McCormack, tour leader. Yellow is his arch rival, but training partner and great friend, Miles Stewart. As you can see, the swim course is identical for the men as it was for the women, but the key factor in this 2-lap course is the water temperature, some 27 degrees, which is a lot warmer than the athletes are used to. Well, there's a good cutaway shot in the thick of it. Miles Stewart there in the yellow cap. Remember, the winner of round 2 on the World Cup Tour in Auckland. He's swimming alongside Dmitry Garg, who's still not confirmed whether he's representing Russia or Kazakhstan, so competes under the ITU labelling for this event. It looks to be Hamish Carter just having the lead, swimming very closely with Shane Reed of Australia. Shane, who's been improving throughout the early part of this tour, consistently in the top 10 in the past 2 competitions. There you see Shane Reed in the purple hat there, still looking for his first ever podium. Who knows, Gamagori could be the place where Reed makes that breakthrough. He certainly has all of the potential. Now taking the lead now in the light blue cap there is TJ Fry from the United States of America, a relatively unknown triathlete. This is his first World Cup competition, but clearly here, Catherine, a very strong swimmer.
He certainly is, and you can see the swimsuit he's wearing. It's actually a one-piece bodysuit. It's one of those special fibers that is less resistant to the water, so he actually glides through more quickly. I don't know if that's much of an advantage in such a long swim. It certainly is in the pool. But you can see he's opened up a lead already. He has a very efficient stroke, a very fluid rhythm, and he's also able to look up every second or third stroke and look back over his shoulder.
After the bit of a learning year it may be for Brad Bevan, but all of the big names are pretty closely bunched up together, with the exception to the American leader, who really is starting to draw and tear them wide open here. This TJ Fry character, who we don't know too much about other than he is a very strong swimmer. It wouldn't surprise me that he's an athlete that has come from a swim background and thinks that will be good enough to give him a World Cup victory. Well, as Catherine Davis, our expert here in the commentary box, has often pointed out, triathlon should not be regarded as 3 separate competitions. It is one sport that requires fine skills in swimming, but you've also got to be pretty sharp in the bike and pretty strong in that closing run section. Now, those of you who have been following the ITU World Cup series since the beginning of the season, you will probably remember that it's normally Hayden Woolley who finds himself in this position, and it's interesting to note that Woolley is opting to stay in 2nd, 3rd position with the likes of Hamish Carter and Jamie Hunt right now. But TJ Fry is really starting to open up the field. A considerable advantage between 2nd and 3rd. The men, like the women, will have to come out of the pool, up onto the pontoon, dive back in, which tells us they start their 2nd lap. Moving very quickly indeed, we pull back on the camera. There is the pontoon, and this is an exceptional swim time, if nothing else. He's coming around about the 9-minute mark now, which, Catherine, really is quick in the water.
That's a very fast time, given that the water is 27 degrees. That really takes a lot out of your performance. Pools are generally around the 20-21 degree mark. Also, that you have to get out of the water to go around the curve. So I think that's probably comparable to looking at perhaps a high 16, 17-minute swim for the 1,500 meters. And the world best is just under 16, so we are looking at an exceptional swim here so far.
Well, 3 out and back into the water together were Hamish Carter, Shane Reed and Woolley there, normally the leader at this point in the swim section so far on the World Cup Tour. They're around about 14 seconds behind. Also, Brad Bevan came out of the water and back in, lying in 5th position. But what's interesting to note, the tour leader, Chris McCormack, has yet to be spotted. Look for the fluo green cap. That's the colour of the tour leader. Also in yellow is Miles Stewart, who's been very close. There is the orange cap. No, there's the fluo green now. Chris McCormack finds himself 44 seconds behind the leader. Miles Stewart seems to be even further behind. We estimate it's about 55 seconds for Miles Stewart. So there, Miles, the 2 top Australians so far this season, having their work cut out by the American leader. A new name to the circuit of the International Triathlon Union, TJ Fry. If he can maintain this kind of form, will provide us with a huge upset here in Gamagori. Look at the time out of the water in 18 minutes 40 seconds, way ahead of the rest of the field. The question is, does the American have the skill on the bike, and can he run 10 kilometers?